closer I get, the further I feel.
What's up? What's poppin'? You already know what it is, man. It's Nate Dogg 916 coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, before we get into anything, man, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell if you want to keep catching this fire content. And if you got somebody you know whose story might help somebody or change the course of the way they living, let me know in the comments below, man, and I'm going to get back at you. Other than that, go to my Instagram at NateDogg916 or Sandman2788, and we'll get at you as soon as possible. But today, today, without further ado, man, what they call you, where you from, man?
Just Bonnie.
Just Bonnie. Where you from, Bonnie?
Sacramento. Wasn't born here, but I was raised here.
Sacramento, California. So tell me, what was it like for a young child, Bonnie, in Sacramento, California?
Oh, okay. So that's a big question. I was a product of a drug induced childhood, I guess. I don't know how you would say that. I was one of 4 children to a mother that did a lot of drugs, did a lot of time in prison, and at 8 I started using drugs. So my childhood was gone pretty quick.
So you mean you started doing drugs at 8 years old? You, for yourself?
I did.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if you don't mind, can you tell us how that came about?
Well...
Without incriminating anybody, of course.
Right,
that's still alive.
Right. I gotta remember to look this direction, huh?
Yeah, you can look right here.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
I'll edit any of this, so don't worry about that.
Well, at 8, my birthday party, I got to smoke weed for the first time. That was pretty much my sister asking my mom if she could pass the joint to me, and my mom was like, "Yep."
No problem.
No problem. I was officially an adult as of my 8th birthday. Or at least I felt like I was an adult because I got to be a part of.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's what the cool people were doing.
Right. Okay. So, 8 years old, now you've broken through the facade of childhood into adulthood, which is crazy from my standpoint. 8 years old is real early to be involving yourself in anything that's grown stuff. So eventually, I usually ask people, eventually something led from you going from in the house to out in the streets. But from the upbringing, it wasn't too many, sounds like there wasn't too many boundaries from inside to outside. It seems like outside was part of inside when you grew up.
Oh man, it progressed so rapidly. For the first couple of years, I just smoked weed. I clowned people that did meth. And then when I was 11, I helped my mom bag and sell dope from the motel room.
Okay.
And I still didn't use it. I didn't use meth until 3 days before I turned 13, but I was selling it.
Right.
I lived in and out of motels. Very fast life.
Right.
Very fast life. My mom was in and out of prison, and when she wasn't there, it was full reign. I took over selling her product for her and stayed wherever it was I was at for her violation here, violation there, and yeah. So
moms would get out and get it popping, doing her stuff on the streets. And you were right there tagging along with moms, of course.
Absolutely.
Because that's your mom, of course.
I am her mini-me.
Right. So, and then every time she got violated, you just kept the business going while she was locked up, even at as young as 10 years old.
Absolutely. From the motels on Auburn Boulevard.
Yeah, I remember these motels. I remember these situations, actually.
The fire that was at Los Robles Motel?
Yep. Oh, is that right?
That was me.
Okay.
That was me and my brother. That probably shouldn't be on there.
Hey, I'm sure the statute, it's been 7 years, so the statute of limitations is up on that.
Oh man, it's been 30 years.
Yeah, so 7 years is the statute of limitations for a crime other than murder, so.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So that don't mean go commit crimes and wait 7 years and then, I'm just saying, statute of limitation for any crime other than murder is 7 years. Okay, so that's crazy. So you're selling drugs at a young age. You don't start using meth until, like you said, 7 days before your 3 days before your 13th birthday or 12th birthday.
13th.
So before you were a teenager, you had used meth for the first time.
Yes. Yeah. Before that, I was helping my mom stick a needle in her arm to do heroin.
So you was helping her hit.
Yeah. She would get too sick and not be able to hit. Okay, so here's where I was coming from with it.
Yeah.
Here's my options. I either watch my mom be sick, vomiting, and pooping all over herself,
Or help her.
or I'm gonna help her.
Right.
Because I'm the one that had to clean that crap up.
Absolutely.
So by all means, yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not condoning it. I don't put it.
Right.
And I would never even fathom doing that with my own kids.
Right.
But yeah, that's where it was.
Of course. No, absolutely. And like most of my subscribers, they know we don't condone nothing. We tell stories so people can get backgrounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't glorify drug use. We don't glorify violence. We don't glorify gang involvement. We just tell the story so people can get a bigger picture of who people are. We're not what you heard about us. We are who we are. We're a collection of things that's happened to us throughout our life.
Yeah.
So you're out there in the streets. You're doing your thing as a preteen. Actually, what kept you safe during all this stuff when your mom was gone? What kept you from getting robbed or violated or whatever could have things that in my mind I'm thinking if I walked up, me personally, I was in those same corners, the same Auburn hotels. I was in and out of all of them at probably the same time you was around there actually. But if I'm thinking that if I would have saw some little girl who had weight, not saying that you had weight, I don't know what you had, but if I saw a little girl that had weight and had work, I would probably send some of my youngins in there to get it all.
Right,
So
right.
that's what I'm like, what kept you safe during this time, or what kept you from all this happening?
Yeah, I can't say that I was safe. I can't say that I didn't get robbed.
Okay.
I can't say that I didn't get violated. I can't say that I didn't think I was all that in a bag of chips. Stupid enough, mind you, to have a gun and when it came time to use it, not be able to use it. Instead, I had it used on me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And none of that was safe.
Right.
Nothing about that life was safe.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. See, I wanted to make sure people see that that's clear. That yeah, she was doing all of this, but that doesn't mean she wasn't in danger the whole time.
Nah.
Yeah.
All those people that had my mom's back, all those homies, all those men that were running around on Harleys. No offense,
Right.
by all
Absolutely.
means. You claimed to be there, but you weren't there.
No, you know that's
You weren't there because the second my mom was gone, so were you.
No, I'm offensive.
Yeah.
Okay, now not specifically to those people, but everybody who riding with somebody while they out here and don't ride when they gone, I'm offensive to you because you didn't stay loyal to the people you pretended you were loyal to.
Right?
I'm
like
straight up on that.
what did a 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid have any business running amok like that? The second my mom was gone,
somebody should have snatched you up.
Yeah.
Somebody should have snatched you up. They're supposed to be your mom's homeboys or whatever. Because if it's my homegirl and it's her kid, I'm gonna go find her people and put her there.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
I might not take her upon myself, but I'm gonna find somewhere for her to be if it's supposed to be my folks.
Now I can tell you that happened at 17.
Okay.
Somebody finally got the balls. My mom was in prison one more time. I already had a kid, and here I was using needles by this time.
Right.
And they snatched me up.
Good shit.
They snatched me up because where I come from, needles are a no-no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or at least that's what I was raised believing.
Yeah.
And so when it came known to people, they removed me and went and put me somewhere where I couldn't just leave with my child. Yeah.
As they should have.
Yeah.
And salute to whoever did that. You ain't gonna say no names. It's not necessary, but you know who you are if you do happen to watch this video. Salute. Appreciate that.
Right. I wish I could say it kept me from using needles for 17 more years.
And that would have been a great thing.
I wish.
But so you're 17. We can even jump ahead to that. You're 17 and somebody got you away from using needles. Something got you back out there. Obviously, right? And we know you end up having a child, obviously.
I had my first kid when 16.
Oh, you have more than one kid?
I have 3 kids.
Oh, okay. See, okay. I didn't know that. All right. I thought you had the one. Okay, cool. We don't really have to talk about the children part of it if you don't want to. But I would like to know if you'd like to share how it affected you. How can I word this right? Knowing you had children and you were still out there doing your stuff.
Oh man, so that would entail involving my children. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
So what I can tell you is there are things in my life that I swore I would never do.
Right.
I swore I would never use drugs with my kids.
Okay.
I'm yet to do that.
Good stuff.
I'm 40 years old. I have 3 kids. My youngest is 15.
Okay.
24, 19, and 15.
Right.
And I had to stop and think about the 24. I was going to say 23. He'll be 24 May 31st.
I have to do the same thing.
So, I took my oldest through a lot with me. But, okay, so the things I said I would never do were, I'd never use drugs with my kids. I'd never allow my kids to be molested.
Right.
Or violated in any way. I would never have my kids watch me be arrested. These are all things I went through.
Right.
That I swore I would never do with my own. And I'd never lose my kids to CPS. And I've lost all three of my kids at one point or another to CPS. In fact, I lost complete custody of my older two after putting hands on a CPS worker. You know, my youngest was 8 months old when he came home. And that was because I didn't care if they gave him back to... I did care. But in my heart of hearts, I knew I was going to stay clean at that point in my life. Because regardless of whether or not they gave me my kid back...
Right.
I had goals in my life, and I was achieving them at that time.
Okay.
And nothing was going to stop me.
Right.
And the judge seen that and told me so, and gave me back my kid. You know what I mean?
Good stuff. Absolutely.
As far as the things that I said I'd never do, other than I'd never use drugs with my kids, I've done every one of the other things. They've watched me be arrested. My oldest told me, "Mom, it's okay," as I'm kicking and spitting on an officer. Like, the things, I've been to prison, you know what I mean? Like, all the things that I said I would never do, because that's what my mom did with us kids, I've done, other than using.
Right. So you've done all the other things. So the things that happened to you as a child happened to one of your children?
Oh, absolutely. Including the child molest.
Right.
And I wish I could say I protected my kids, but I wasn't.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I've been to jail over 30 times, you know what I mean? So when I started going to prison, I wasn't there.
Right. And do you feel like that's your fault?
I do feel like had I been there, there's a possibility I could have protected. I could have prevented.
Me knowing you from having conversations with you, if you would have been there, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
In my opinion.
I would like to say that.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know the circumstances, but if it would have happened, it would have been a lot harder to do, and it would have been a lot more repercussions.
I probably would not be sitting here.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know, everybody on my channel, you guys know how I feel about child molesters. They should be stabbed until they're dead. They should not be shot. They should feel every time the knife slides into their body. But you guys know how I get it. So, you know, that's how I roll. So fuck all child molesters. But aside from that, you know what I mean? One thing that I say, like I said, I like to make this more conversational. One thing that I said, and I've said this on my channel many times before, anything that happened to my kids while I was incarcerated for 17 years that I could have prevented, I take it as my fault.
Right.
However, I do look at it like I have to accept my responsibility and accept the fact that would it have been better at that time for them if I was out? See, I had to add that as well.
No, I've done that. I've done that. Like, I had one of my times locked up. I got involved in this class that it was a biblical one, and I don't know what you call him, pastor, preacher, whatever, asked us what we knew about forgiveness.
Right.
And at that point, I had a lot of abusers and people that violated me as a child throughout my life.
Right.
And so what that dude asked me that day in that classroom was, what would I do if any one of them people walked into the room right then?
Right.
Okay, so me being who I am,
right?
Like, I'm going to catch a case.
Absolutely.
Or I got to go.
Yeah.
I can't sit in the same room at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to write a 3-page thing about forgiveness and about how forgiveness actually holds carrying a resentment, a grudge, anger on somebody does more havoc to me because I carry it. That dude, that whatever, at whatever year, however old he is today, probably isn't even thinking about that anymore. Whereas it's still in the back of my head. I'm still pulling it up because I still have relationship issues at 40 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? All this stuff is still all because I still got some held on to resentment, grudge, and everything, and not forgiving that person. That's a lot of rent that you're allowing somebody to hold in your up inside your head.
Well, right, and that's one thing I said before. That's like you holding that resentment is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die.
That part right there.
I mean? It's like you're only hurting yourself.
Yes.
And I do understand that, and I can actually, fortunately, I've never been molested or been violated in that manner, but I was put to a test when I was first released from prison. And not on that page, but on a page of holding a kind of resentment that you shouldn't be holding. And it was a breakthrough for me because as far as controlling my anger and controlling my impulse issues, because my anger management coach, may she rest in peace, Miss Claudia Diaz, she made me sit in a room with a dude who was telling a story. It was a group session, and she made me sit in a room and participate with the dude that was talking about some molestation type stuff that he did with his son and his stepson. And basically how he made his son hold his private area and this and that.
Right.
And she seen that I was starting to boil. She could tell. She seen me over in the corner starting, but I'm fresh out after 17 years on a level 4 yard. All I'm thinking about in my head is stabbing this dude. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm like 6 months out. You know what I mean? And she could tell. So she engages me and makes me engage with this dude. You know what I mean? And it's the first thing she says is, Nathan, what do you have to say? And I'm like, I don't have anything to say. Nothing at all. I don't have nothing. I put my hood on and I'm just sitting. She's like, if you don't participate, you're going to fail the class. We're going to fail you if you don't participate. So I said, you really want me? I looked straight at her. I wouldn't even look at him. I looked straight at her and I was like, you want me to participate? You really want me to participate? And she's like, yeah. I sat up and I looked right at him and I said, I'll stab this shit out you. I'll beat you to death right now and can't nobody in this room stop me.
Right.
Stop sitting here acting like you don't know what the fuck you did. And, you know, of course, he got all spooked like most fucking pieces of shit do. Got all scared and, oh man, it was a nun. Yeah, whatever. And then, of course, Nathan, step out. But you wanted me to participate.
Right.
That's how I feel. And I'm not scared about what he'll say because I'll hurt this little boy. You know what I mean? But I had to keep coming back. I had to keep coming back and sitting around these people that had beat women, which I totally disagree with. I'm all for beating up dudes that beat up girls.
I'm not. I'm a woman. I can beat up women all I want.
Because you're not a dude,
just kidding,
though.
Just kidding.
You're not a dude. But violence ain't the answer anymore either.
No.
That was just a point to show that how I had to deal with my shit. Just like you had to deal with your shit and let go of your anger towards the piece of shit that did whatever he did towards you.
Right. Well, and I became an introvert at a very young age. I thought, I guess there's those like statistics where some kids they rebel.
Right.
Some kids blame themselves.
Okay.
That was me.
Okay.
That was me. I became the
you
person that thought it was my fault.
To you.
Oh yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. And God, the things that are coming now up in my life now,
right,
are so huge to me that I'm able to actually process and learn from.
Right.
And I don't mean to say that any of those perpetrators did me, because it was multiple, but I don't mean to say that they did me a benefit, that I got a benefit out of what occurred.
Right. But
I'm learning from it today. Right. I'm getting life tools that I can help others with. So when I say I started blaming myself, it was my fault. My grandmother told me that I deserved it. And then 2 days later, my mom turned around and said the same thing. Well, what was you doing out there dressed like that? Because I had on a bathing suit and some shorts and Birkenstocks. So it was, and those were main figures in my life that meant a lot to me. My grandma, my mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those were huge. I idolized those two people. And so if they told me it was my fault, it must be my fault.
Right, obviously, because this is your learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is your learning curve. Your learning process is
absolutely.
You learn from these
people.
They
said it was my fault. It must be my fault.
So it must be. Absolutely.
It must be. And then later on, it just, all those learned behaviors became me violating myself eventually. Because no longer was somebody else doing it to me. It was me doing it to myself. Right. It was me putting myself in those situations when I knew better from the last time. Right. But now I know how to handle it, and I can act like I'm okay with it, and it won't be as big of a deal.
Now you're not tripping.
And now it's, really? I got you. You know? And instead, it was like a pop your collar type situation. It became, where I was like, you ain't got shit on me. I'm playing you. You ain't
Right.
getting me.
I'm gonna let
I'll get you before
I'm gonna
you
let
get
you
me.
violate me, but I'm really violating myself, thinking I'm getting something up on the curb.
That part right there, because
Right.
I'm getting something out of it.
Right,
When
right,
really,
Right, like I'm shipping you out for cash or for dope
Yeah.
or whatever. You
Yep.
don't know I'm only with you for this, but at the same time, you give them a little piece of you on the inside every time.
Exactly. A little bit more of my character, a little
Right.
bit more of my morals, a little
What
bit
you're
more.
willing to do,
Yeah.
you're willing to do a little bit more to think you're getting over on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then I got to be known by that person.
Oh, okay.
So then now I got a role that I have to play.
Yeah, now it's gotten too deep, so now it's you now.
Yeah.
It's become
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Even
And
though it's
I
not
was
really
that
you.
one. Yeah, I was that down ass homegirl.
Yeah, and really what I consider that is you're walking around dark. Now you're walking around sleep. You're sleepwalking.
Yeah, I'm
Because
faking it. I'm faking
you know who you really are, but you're so enthralled in being who everybody sees you as that just
Yeah.
kind of becomes who you are.
I gotta be who they think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you let their perceptions dictate the way you live your life.
Absolutely.
And,
I don't know how many times I took a case for some
Oh.
homeboy
Yeah.
and went to prison over somebody else's case.
And let me go back and make a statement real quick, because I've heard this a lot of times where young females and or males that have been violated by adults and or whoever been violated, period, even if it's someone of the same age group. How a person dresses is choice. Who a person chooses to be around is choice. For you to violate them because of this, you take away their choice. You know what I mean? For you to be a 40-year-old man, a 45-year-old man, and I have sex with a 16-year-old girl, my guy, that's not game. You're a piece of shit. You've influenced a young girl's brain to have sex with you. Yeah, you didn't take it, but you took it. You took it because you mentally fucked her. You're not slick out there. I know, I'm not stupid. So, bottom line, it's never a female's choice or male's choice if they're manipulated into a situation. And for anybody, no disrespect to grandma or moms, but people who tell children that it's their fault shouldn't be doing that.
Right?
Shouldn't be doing it. You should be able to try to figure out what the root issue is. But a lot of people are too lost in their shadow to realize that the root issue may be them. So let's get past that. So you said you end up going to prison more than once, obviously, right?
Right.
So can you talk about the first case you actually went to prison for? The case, what case it was?
Okay, so the first case was...
But I'm sorry. If there's a co-defendant, don't say their name.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, you can say anything that you did or had to do with, or just don't say anybody's names.
First time I went to prison was over 17 GTAs in one case.
Damn! You just killed everybody's car!
We had a tow truck.
Oh, okay.
We had a tow truck, a flatbed tow truck, and everywhere that tow truck sat idle and a car was missing in that vicinity, it was us.
Oh, okay.
It was us. And a Stingray was the last one that, we sure did. But you know what, though? Okay, so I don't want to romance it.
Yeah, but
Or glamorize it or anything, but like tweakers get resourceful. Man, I've created letterhead and shit. Like I was from some Revo company.
Oh, you made
Like
it legal. You made it look
absolutely.
legal.
I tried. It didn't work. I ended up with conspiracy.
Right.
Yeah. I went to prison my first time on conspiracy, and that was. I came out and I went to college for automotive, and when you got that many GTAs, plus I got 5 separate GTAs on my record.
Damn it.
So I was
Nobody at a car place wants to hire you now.
Nope. That's the wreckage of my past.
Okay,
I've gone to school, to college for automotive, and
You can fix any vehicle, but you can't get a job fixing vehicles.
not the new ones, not the new
Right.
fucking
You can
electric.
fix any old school.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so prison. Let's get into that, because of course we try to spin this into prison and show how you can do it after prison.
Right?
What was it like? I mean, because you seem kind of turned up. I'm not gonna lie. You seem kind of turned up. If you know what turned up means?
I do not. I was looking at you kind of funny.
Okay, so turned up means it's you with the shit. Like if it's popping and my folks is popping over here fighting, whatever, I'm going. We
Right.
fighting.
Yeah,
If we
yeah.
cutting, if we stab, whatever we doing, I'm with it. I'm turned
Right,
up.
yep,
I'm with the
I'm
shit.
down.
I'm
I got
down.
you.
The down ass homegirl, right?
Yep.
That everybody wants to. You think everybody wants to be labeled as at one time.
Right.
So you're in prison. What's popping? Like, what was prison like for you?
Oh God, my first. So
The
my
first
first
bid,
term,
obviously,
my
yeah.
first, I was new booty.
What was your CDC number? What? This a note. What was your first CDC number?
X27289.
I said that because we've had
And
a
that was-
conversation before about people for saying they forgot their CDC number. You don't forget your
Oh
CDC
no,
number.
no, you don't forget your CDC. No.
Yeah, I don't. My K77712. I know mine like it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
easy.
I know my mom's N09488. Hey, she had a 0 number, an N09488. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was just her last numbers.
So the first time you hit a prison yard.
The first time? Okay, so
The first time, the reception, the prison.
Oh my
what
God,
was that about?
A-yard reception.
What prison is this in Tachilla?
VSP, right across the street.
Valley State Prison. Okay.
Yep. My first time, I'm not even gonna be there for very long, and all the homies are here. You know what I mean? I got taught how to make pruno. I got. Excuse me for saying this.
Yeah.
You're a dude, but
No.
I got taught how to ass clap. I got. It was like a full on Camp Snoopy.
Right.
But I also got into trouble for fighting. I did not use drugs while I was there. I did drink. I did not smoke cigarettes. There were times when my tension-filled 8-woman cell was all because of me, and that shit's not good.
Right.
A tension-filled environment. I mean, granted, whatever it is, what it is. You'll catch me on the, you know what I mean? We can go do this in the shower. I got jumped, ass booty naked in the shower stall. Sure did.
It happens.
Yeah. I couldn't have gotten out of there fast enough.
Right.
And then all I did was come home by court bus. I came home, went to court and got sentenced to some more prison time in another county because I had a warrant for my arrest in another county. So I went right back.
So you didn't even get released. You got bused to the court
Yes.
from prison and right back.
Yes, I went out to court, came back, or OTC,
Yep.
out to court, and then I came back, and nothing changed. Everything was the same. It was like Camp Snoopy, only now I have a release date instead of a hold.
Okay. Oh,
Now I
okay. So
have
your
a
first
release
bid,
date.
you had a court hold.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So, at that point, that's when shit got serious. I had a release date.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go home on my release date or sooner, and I knew what not to do when I got home.
Okay.
Drugs were not where I wanted to go because, okay, so all my times getting out, I got a bag of dope handed to me.
Off top.
Off the top to get on my feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what happened in
How it works.
where I come from.
Yeah.
And that's not what I wanted this time.
Right.
Do know I was picked up in a G-Ride.
Of course.
Absolutely. I got picked up from the fucking prison in a G-Ride. One of the times, I might not want to say that on camera, but somebody else came down and picked me up.
Right.
We both know. Like.
Oh, wifey?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. My wife. Yeah.
And she came down to Stockton one time and picked me up when I was getting released. So like, I did D-Yard.
Okay.
The second part of that term, I went to D-Yard. And at first, I was just on C-Yard. C-Yard's level 4.
Oh, okay.
You're in there with the lifers. You're in there with the people that make syringes
Yes.
out of handheld pins and shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they got tattoos. All women have tattoos on their face, beards, full on shaved heads, not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Not going nowhere. And
Beards?
beards.
what's
No,
up?
tattooed on their face.
Oh, tattooed faces. Okay.
Tattooed beards.
Right.
Yeah. And
So let me. Okay. So I haven't really. I think you might be the first interview that I've done with somebody who's a female who did time in California. Like on these yards, these level 4 yards, like are they making weapons or are they doing stuff like that? Like on the 4 yards, like our yards?
okay, so women don't get down for violence as much, and they do not group together.
Oh, okay. So
They
there's
do
no
not
like
group,
racial.
just because you're from 916 doesn't
Right.
mean that everybody else from 916 is gonna have your back.
Oh, is that right?
It is not like that.
Oh,
It is
shit.
not like that at all.
Okay.
You're gonna get into a fight over some drugs,
Right.
over fucking somebody else's wife,
Right.
wifey.
Right.
That's gonna get you hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's more turmoil behind drugs or relationship stuff.
Yes. It has nothing to do with
Do you guys have racial politics on your on the female yards?
No.
Oh, so you
No.
like blacks and whites can be in the cells together or in the rooms together? Or?
Okay, so you really don't know.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Okay, so on a bed card, which is on the outside of the prison door,
Right.
there's 8. It has to say 2 white.
Oh, it has to be.
It has to be 2
okay.
white, 2 black, 2 Hispanic, short for Hispanic,
Right.
and 2 others.
Oh, every room has to be like that.
Others, yes, sir.
So what happens if they run out of others? Because I know they don't have enough others to put 2 in every room, right? Then it's just whatever.
I don't. I guess then it would just be whatever. My cells have
Every
always.
cell, there's
and
always
I've been
been
to
enough?
prison 5 times.
Oh, okay. And there's always been enough people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. So they're super integrated.
Oh yes. And something else that is huge is biracial relationships in women's prisons.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes.
Okay. There's a lot of relationships in women's prison.
Oh, it's ridiculous. They'll get out on Maynard and have a wedding, and that'll be your wifey.
Oh shit.
Not wife, but that's your wifey.
Right.
Yeah, they'll have an officer will be standing on the yard the whole 9. There's a lifer. Well, I would imagine Chowchilla now because BSP's dudes now, right?
Yeah, they changed it to men's prison.
But there was an ordained minister, so she was literally doing the weddings.
Oh, the lifer was legally marrying people.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, absolutely.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, yeah, it's really different than we're not only in men's level force. Do we not sell with other races? We're not allowed to sell with other races.
Oh yeah, that's
like if you come in and they ask you who you roll with off top. Like if you're a white guy and you're all tatted up, who you roll with? You're either gonna tell them you roll with whites and you're going into a white cell, or you say I don't roll with whites, I roll with blacks. So they'll put you in a black cell. Wow. Because they have some white boys that roll black.
Yeah.
But you gotta roll with they ask you, and me, they wouldn't even ask me. They would ask me what gang I roll with. Oh. Because they automatically put me on the black side off top. Because of what I look like. Of course, everybody knows I'm white and black, but in prison, I'm labeled as a black inmate. But automatically, I'm a Sacramento blood.
The only thing they ask you in a women's prison is your sexual preference.
Really?
Your sexual preference, and if you have any enemies on the yard. If you have a conflict or
right. They ask us that.
Enemy
concerns.
Chrono. An enemy chrono. Oh my God, it's been
A12. Yeah. We know the numbers. A12 chronos.
Oh my God, it's been a minute.
I had an enemy list like this long.
Fuck, boy.
People that wouldn't sign the chronos. I signed all chronos. Yeah, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, I signed all marriage chronos. Let's go. Marriage chrono, if you don't know, if you get in a fight with somebody, you got to sign a chrono saying you're not going to do nothing to that person again.
Right.
In order to be released to the state yard. Yeah.
With the people that jumped me in the shower.
Yeah. So you rocking Camp Snoopy, level 4, then back to, I'm sure, C yard is what, level 2?
No, C yard is 4.
Or D yard is?
D yard is the program yard.
Okay.
The drug program is what I call it. It's
SAP
Walden
yard.
House. SAP.
Yeah, SAP yard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. The long-termers that are they got the cops in their back pocket. What do they call them? Oh,
trustees.
God. Trustees.
Yeah.
They're in D1.
Okay.
Other than that, they're whole D2, D3,
critical
D4,
workers and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the program yard is easier to do time then.
Oh yeah. Well, because you get services. Okay, so you get to learn who you are.
Okay.
You do SAP. It's mandatory either go to morning classes or you go to afternoon classes. Okay. One or the other, and then you swap out with your job detail afterwards.
Right.
And what that entails is process group,
right,
drugs and alcohol group, counseling, parenting, anger management, any kind of self-help stuff you can get.
Right.
Is on D yard.
Okay, so they have programs, which is a good thing because
absolutely. Services.
Okay, so you get closer to coming home, and let's jump ahead because I know you did multiple prison sentences.
Yeah, it didn't change over time.
So let's go to when you decided to change. Hold on, let me fix that. I'll edit all that, whatever. So let's get to where you decided to actually make a stand. Okay, let's get to a release date because you've done so many. Let's get to your last release date.
Oh, yay.
Your last first time coming home, or not first time coming home, but your first day home after your last incarceration.
Man, okay, so my last incarceration was a whole new, I was not on parole no more. It was a new number. It was a county fucking prison term. This AB 109 shit.
Yeah.
Oh my fuck. And let me tell you, if you've been to prison doing county time, sucks ass. No offense.
Right.
But,
right.
so I did a 4-year, 8-month term.
In the county? Oh.
I had enhancements from prior prison terms.
Right.
And then I had brass knuckles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And
so you like to fight? Or you used to like to fight?
It was a homeboy's case. I hate to even admit to that. Like, I was a sucker. Yeah, absolutely. What do you got, homeboy? And he tosses me fucking brass knuckles.
Oh, shit.
I had already taken out everything else I had on me to the hoop. Mind you, I'm not glorifying or nothing.
Y'all hear that?
But like, I got mine. What do you got, homeboy? And he tosses brass knuckles, man. And what the fuck am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
I'm good, but I ain't that good.
Right.
And so I ended up with brass knuckles. They got me a 4-year term. The other thing I fought, I reversed it on appeal, which was a U-Haul vehicle. But my enhancement was still from prison priors.
Right.
So that time when I got out, I had no lady to come home to.
Right.
I had somebody that professed their love for me. I was planning my wedding while I was locked up, like the whole 9 yards. And
did you meet this person on the streets or?
I did in a drug environment.
Oh, in the streets.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
And then I caught the term.
Right.
So, and let me tell you, my wife, because we've since gotten married. My wife, I've been together with her for 7.5 years. And let me tell you, anybody else that's ever been to prison and lost everything, right? Everything. I've even come home from prison and seen my knick-knack shells on my sister's walls and shit. Oh, but I lost everything. No, you guys went through my shit. But...
Oh, I'd hate to do that.
Right?
I'd hate to see my stuff after I've been gone for a bit. Like, wait, that's mine. I'll take that back.
Right? So everything that I owned before I went to prison, this last term, I still had. And when I seen
your girl held it down.
When I seen that, I had a whole 3-bedroom house inside of a storage unit, and I have to be honest, man. When you're locked up, you don't think it's really there. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. That shit's fucking tweaked through. It's fucking smoked out. You sold whatever you wanted to sell. No, my shit was not touched. And that's nobody's ever done that shit for me. Yeah, nobody's ever done that for me before. Yeah, that was.
So you married her.
Yep. So I married her.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a loyalty is hard to find, man. I understand that. And that's big. I've been incarcerated more than once. I've only done one prison term, but it was a long time. But I've been incarcerated off and on since I was 12 and a half. And I've never come out to the same stuff I left with.
Right?
Yeah, I've never come out to the same stuff I left with. I've always had to start over when I came home.
Yep, came home in sweats.
I do 8 months and had to start over. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So you're out now. So what's Miss Bonnie doing now? What's going on now?
Oh, boy. So I came out and I started using.
Okay.
I came home, no offense, but I did come home to a dirty environment.
Right.
And that's what I know. I went back to it. I started using. And boy, let me tell you. Okay, so for somebody that comes from where I come from, this last period of use mentally mind fucked me. I had never had any kind of mental depression, PTSD, or at least that I knew of.
Right.
I never knew of any of that fucking anxiety, panic attacks. And boy, howdy, I heard voices. I heard voices. I recorded shit that when I replayed it back, there was nothing there. Like, mental mind fuck. What I can tell you is this last time that I was using drugs, And it might be because I was in a relationship. I didn't do relationships before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get comfortable because you're not spending the night. But with my wife,
right,
it was different. I loved her. I was in love with her. And why would she love me? I think is where I'm getting at now. Is I didn't understand why she didn't really love me.
Right, of course not.
If she's not cheating, or no, if we're not doing cheating together, then she must be doing it behind my back.
Right.
And I had that stuck in my head, and I had to prove it. And dude, I would bail in. This is embarrassing. I would bail in the bathroom on her every time she went in there because I thought she was doing drugs without me. You know, and what? So what? So what if she would have been?
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I just knew she was lying to me. And truth be told, it was because I was keeping shit from her.
So it was your own
There's
conscious.
the flip side to it.
It was it's your own subconscious playing tricks on you.
It was all of my childhood shit. Like, okay, so I was taught how to help somebody cheat.
Yeah.
Because I was that other person. That was holding hands on the down low while the old lady was sitting next to. You know what I mean? I was the one. I was the down ass homegirl that slept around. So when somebody else. So later on, I still thought that shit was going on. Only I wasn't a part of it.
Right.
So it was against me. And
so why would you think that anybody would be, especially the stuff you had thought measured up to your self-worth with all the damage you let be occurred and the damage you inflicted on yourself? Why would you think somebody loved you just for you and was good enough? You were good enough.
I still struggle with that.
Right.
Like I said, we've been together for 7.5 years. I've got 8 months clean.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we've been through the ringer.
Absolutely.
We have been through some humdingers, and let me tell you, Sac County Probation Department, and I'm going to throw a name out there.
That's fine. Well, you're not a criminal committing a crime. That's fine.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, what's my parole officer's name?
Nick, look it up.
I'm going to have to look that one up because he deserves credit. So what happened was my last term was in Placer County.
Okay.
When I came home and started using, not wanting to be in that lifestyle, I tried to reach out to Placer County, and they wouldn't do anything about it. They wouldn't help me. I offered to drug test for them twice a week.
Right.
So that I would know I would have somebody testing me.
Right, absolutely. You had somebody holding something over you.
That way I couldn't fucking...
Don't just set me loose. I'm not the type to be just set loose.
Yeah, I can't get clean.
Right,
Help.
right.
And they wouldn't do nothing for me. And my wife threw this... in the midst of a drug-induced argument, she threw this card at me. We weren't married yet. But, she was like, here, call him. At 10 o'clock at night, I called him.
Mm-hmm.
I sure did. And I left a message. And that's how bad I wanted to get out of it.
Right.
Like, I faithfully believed that if I got clean, she would follow.
Right.
She would fucking follow. She did 10 months in drug court and like, excelled like you would never believe. She was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I believed that if I could get clean, she would follow.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next morning instead of calling the next morning, I was in his office.
Oh, good shit.
A Sac County officer. And because I had heard good shit about him. And he's like, oh, you're the one that left the voicemail last night. I was like, yep. 4 hours later, not only was my parole transferred to Sac County, he was my parole officer.
Right.
And I was accepted into his program. Within 4 hours. The same day, all that shit changed and my life changed. And knowing, and then later on, because I relapsed, at 10 months clean, I relapsed, and it was short-lived, but he gave me 14 days. Nobody's ever done that. He just knew I just needed to get some clean time. Yeah. I asked him for a fucking dry out, or
10-day dry out?
Flash,
yeah.
For a 10-day flash, and because I was like, I can't get clean. And I'd already graduated from his program and everything, and was even coming back and speaking. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm not putting you in jail. All you need is just a moment to get clean.
Right.
Here, and he put me in this detox, and I just knew it was going to become some 60, 90, 6-month program, and he didn't. He let me come home. 14 days later, I came home, and my wife got rid of her dope the night before, and she was clean from that day. I had 14 days cleaner than she did.
Right.
And, man, my life has drastically changed.
So now you're one day at a time, of course.
Yeah,
Keeping it solid.
absolutely.
Keeping it strong. So if there's anything that you can say to, I don't know, I'm not going to say 8-year-old, because hopefully times have evolved so it's not that bad anymore, although we do know it is in some situations.
Right.
But back in our days when we were younger, it was a lot worse than how kids are having it these days, because drugs were rampant and hitting hard everywhere. But if you could talk to a young kid that's a young female that's out here thinking badly of herself, or thinking that, riding on the back of Harleys, or hanging out in that crowd is a good thing, or might be something they want to get into, what message would you give to them if they were listening?
Have a voice. Have a fucking voice. It's okay to be you. It's okay to have boundaries, whether somebody else around you likes them or not. If somebody would have taught me that as a child, the boundaries were acceptable. Like, that's huge. Boundaries, man. Boundaries. Don't say yes if you really don't want to. Don't go along with something if it doesn't seem right. Play your tape. Play your tape all the way through. You know what I mean? But I think the one thing is have a voice. I'm just now at 40 years old learning to have a voice, and that it's okay to say no. I don't always still say no. I might do things I still don't want to really do, like mow somebody's lawn or something, like, God damn, it's hot. But it's not things that are going to jeopardize my morals today.
That's more good-hearted stuff.
Yeah, but have a voice. It wasn't until I got with my wife that being me was really, like, she stood up one day and told me, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get you to believe in yourself.
Damn.
That's huge.
That's huge. Big.
And damn right I married her.
So, first and foremost, thank you, Bonnie, for coming on. I appreciate you sharing your story and opening up and cracking open some old wounds to share with the people, man. And like I tell y'all all the time, man, if you don't do nothing else in life, man, stay loyal to yourself, man.
Right.
Fuck what everybody else thinks. Stay loyal to you and stay loyal to your morals. If you're a member of the kennel, stay rocking with me, man, because we're doing this from now on.